Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. And this one, we are talking about Ozzy Osbourne's Black Rain. 2007 release. Best part about it that was one of the most celebrated was the fact that Zakk Wylde was all over this album. I don't remember if this was the first album where Zakk Wylde came back writing with Ozzy or not, but it's the first one I have in my notes on my computer. I know I'm missing one or two albums of Ozzy's that are after Osmosis, but before Ordinary Man. However, this album, it's not as good as Ordinary Man. I'm gonna say that right out the bat, or right off the bat, right out front there. But it's not a bad album. I think the problem with this album is in the great catalog of that which is Ozzy. There is a couple choice tunes, but the rest of it is kind of, it's Ozzy. I'll get into this as I go here. So the album opens up with Not Going Away. It's a great way to open up the album. It's a great statement from Ozzy stating, he's not going away. Because even at this point, Ozzy had been around for a long time, right? 2007. So you're talking just shy of 40 years of recording and releasing and touring. If you go by the first album being released in 69. So that's, and still holds up now. He still hasn't gone away, Ozzy's still out there giving it good. That goes into I Don't Want to Stop. Now, Not Going Away opens up the album perfectly. There's no reason to say that I would open up the album differently. But I Don't Want to Stop could open up this album perfectly as well. I almost feel like I Don't Want to Stop was definitely put in the wrong place on this album. Great song. I'm not sure if Ozzy still does it live when he's out there touring solo, but he should do it live. Really, really great song. I love it. High energy, high octane. And from this album, it's got a great catch. It's one of the few songs on this album I think is actually worth keeping around over the years because it does stand out from other songs. But it still works within the great pantheon of Ozzy. Which I should say most of Ozzy's great pantheon is Black Sabbath. But okay. Then we get into Black Rain. Black Rain is a song that definitely feels like it's from the time. It's definitely dated to 2007. But it's weird the way it's dated to 2007 because it's, to me, it feels even a little late for 2007. Black Rain kind of has a vibe to it that reminds me of Alice Cooper's Dragontown, but that had already been out for a solid 5 years at this point. So it's kind of interesting, kind of that way. I don't mind Black Rain. It's got a great kind of blues hook to it, but Ozzy doesn't have a blues voice. Ozzy's voice sometimes is a little lacking for me because I know the tricks that they're using on his voice for studio production purposes. Theoretically, I was having a talk with my spouse Tracy about this, and I was saying, like I know how to simulate Ozzy's vocals, that kind of vibrato or phased kind of sound you can hear on his voice. And it basically boils down to a delay on his voice of zero point 0.2 seconds, or not 0.2 seconds, sorry, of 2 frames, 2 out of 30 frames, which is the rate that music production is done at. It works out to 2/60ths of a second. All right. So there's either a slight delay of like 2/60ths of a second, could be up to 4/60ths of a second, but I think that's too much. Um, and then after that, it's kind of, or if it's not that, they're using like a slight phasing to put it out or whatever. I can make a couple good guesses. A couple good guesses. Black Rain is one of the songs where it's there for parts of it, or he's overdubbing. Sorry, he's multi-tracking his vocals. So those are kind of the ways where you can get that kind of sound, and sometimes I like it, but with Ozzy it's overused because it's like on everyone. And Black Rain, that's kind of the thing, is Black Rain ends up with this weird kind of grunge kind of vibe to me, and it's not bad, but it's not a song that I'm looking for. I know a lot of other people like it, but for the title track of the album, I would expect more. Sorry, long-winded rant. Lay Your World on Me, ballad, standard Ozzy ballad. When you hit the Osmosis album, Ozzy started doing a couple of very standardized kind of ballady kind of styles, and he used them all throughout afterwards. And Lay Your World on Me fits very much in there, and Be My Little Man is an example. I'm trying to think of the other one on there as well. Something in LA. Oh, Old LA Tonight. Kind of. There's just that vibe. Lay Your World on Me kind of just fits in that vibe. It's very like, it's not a bad tune, and lyrically it's pretty, but very much just kind of eh. Next up, you get the Almighty Dollar. I dig the Almighty Dollar. I think there's a great little bit of irony to the Almighty Dollar with Ozzy doing it. That's me. The irony being that, Sharon controlling the way that she does and whatnot, and how the Almighty Dollar is ultimately, at the end of the day, it's kind of a great great little bit, considering money has always been the issue with Black Sabbath. Instead of a four-way even split, certain people deserve more split than other people did because they had a bigger name. All right. After that, we get into Silver. I'll be honest with you. Silver is totally forgettable to me. Totally forgettable to me. Okay, so and then after Silver, it's Civilized Universe. That one's kind of okay. Once again, not quite what I'm interested in. Just not one of Ozzy's better tunes. Here for You. So. That's yeah, again, another ballad. Countdown's Begun. It's not a bad tune. And then the album finishes off with Trapdoor. I do dig Trapdoor. Trapdoor, I don't know if I'd want to close the album with Trapdoor. I don't want to stop. I think would have been a better closer for this album than Trapdoor was. Trapdoor does kind of close out the album in a way that I feel it's nice and complete, but at the same time, it's just really not that type of song. It doesn't really go. It does, but it doesn't. I think I Don't Want to Stop either should have closed the album or opened the album, but Not Going Away was definitely the better choice for the opener out of those two, because then, like I said, they could leave I Don't Want to Stop for the end. I enjoy listening to the album when I'm listening to the album. I don't mind the music that's in it. I don't mind the lyrics that are on the album. But really, I Don't Want to Stop is the only song that I absolutely, really, truly enjoy. I think it's a wonderful song. High energy. It's definitely a song I would listen to while I'm riding my bike, stuff like that, because it's just got great energy to it. I know that at one time I was putting Trapdoor into mixes for a little bit, and I was putting the Almighty Dollar into mixes for a little bit too. Out of 10 songs, 4 of them I think are really kind of worth it to me, because the only other one would be Not Going Away. But Not Going Away is not a song I really go out of my way to listen to. It's just, if, you know, I'm being generous and saying 4 out of the 10 songs. It's really more 3 out of 10 for me. If you can find this album used for a half decent price, go ahead, pick it up. You know, if you're a diehard Ozzy fan, you got to get everything, go ahead, pick it up. If you're an Ozzy fan, there's a possibility you'll enjoy the album. I'm more of a Sabbath fan. I'm way more of a Sabbath fan than I am an Ozzy fan. So for me, it's a little bit different. And I like Black Label Society as well. I like Zakk Wylde. I think that, you know, Ozzy's best album was the combination of Zakk Wylde and Ozzy, and that'd be the No More Tears album. But, you know, it's kind of where it ends for me. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Those are my views. Those are my opinions. Let me know what you think. That's what the comment section is for. I know people are going to have different views on this one. I know some people like this album. Some people think it's a total trash. I don't think it's total trash. I just think it's predictable, boring, nothing overly standoutish. Yeah. All right. Once again, leave your comments. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. There is the little bell for notifications. Link to go to Patreon. Peace. Love. Take care.